Well, we made it past Halloween, so now might be the time to start preparing, financially anyways, for the other holidays right around the corner. This afternoon, we have Lindsay Bryan-Podvin with us to go over some things that might take a little bit of stress off saving for that spending later on. Thanks for joining us.
I'm so happy to be here.
I think we are. We're kind of focused now. Holiday season's coming up, and, we're going to be buying some gifts. So what should we be doing now before we really even start buying anything?
Yeah, so many of us are caught off guard when the holiday season comes. So this is the perfect time to be talking about it and planning ahead. So the very first thing your viewers can do is to do a quick money check-in. Look at how much money they're earning, how much they're saving, and how much they are spending. And if they're spending in areas that don't feel very good to them, this is a good time to start pulling back so that they can make sure that when the holiday season does arrive, they aren't feeling pinched or like they're overspending. And then as they are preparing for the holiday season, after they've done that money check-in, they might have to do something a little bit awkward, and that's, especially in the Midwest, as you know, saying no.
Oh,
saying
yeah.
no to a party or saying no to joining in a gift exchange. It can feel really uncomfortable, but this is a part of making sure that we're staying on top of our finances. So saying, hey, I can't make it, or you know what, that's not in my budget this year. And you might be surprised that when you set this particular boundary, how many people are also like, oh, I'm so glad you said something. Let's try something else. And then finally, it's not just about spending less, it's also about saving more. So what are the things that you want to plan on saving up for as the holiday season comes to a close? So you don't just get through December and feel like, okay, I didn't spend as much as I thought I was, but also making sure you have a little bit of a cushion so you're heading into the new year feeling good.
Yeah, and people can save automatically. You kind of set that on an automation, and maybe does it need to be a whole lot at one time or a little bit here? Like, what's a good way to go about that?
I think a lot of people think we need to save all of this money all at once. And while it might sound good in theory, the second piece, the second part that you mentioned is actually a better option. So saving a little bit at a time might not feel as rewarding right away, but what it does do is help to build that muscle and build that savings over time. And the other thing that it does by saving a little bit at a time is it makes it more likely for us to actually achieve that savings goal. When we set that big goal, we might come out of the gate really strong, but what happens is we start to feel deprived, we start to feel like we're missing out, and so then we say, oh, savings just isn't worth it, I'm gonna go back to spending. So instead of doing that, setting those small, steady, achievable goals is so important. And with something like Cash App savings, you can get high yield on the money that you're saving, so your money is earning more money and going even further.
Aha, yeah, it's almost kind of like a diet. If you really deprive yourself, you're going to want to go and binge later on instead of maybe just baby steps. So it makes a whole lot of sense. Once we get to the end of this year and, where the holidays are past us, we've purchased all our gifts, what about setting some goals for 2025?
What I like to do when setting goals for the new year is to reflect on how was 2024? Were the financial goals that I set for myself, did those feel good? Did I fall a little bit short? What can I do differently? Or what can I continue to do and what worked for me in this year? When it comes to which type of goal a person should set, that totally depends on the person. I'm a big fan of making sure you have an emergency fund or a rainy day fund. Another good goal to set up is to set up some additional automation tools to help you hit your goals even sooner. So that might be something like automatic paycheck distributions where you're automatically saving every single time you're paid. Or it might be, like I said earlier, with those boundaries, telling friends, hey, instead of happy hour out at a bar every single month, why don't we do rotating happy hours at our houses? So setting different financial goals that matter to you and having tools available to help support your goals along the way.
Yeah, and I think sometimes we do get to the end of the year and we go, oh, maybe I spent a little bit too much, and we maybe beat ourselves up a little bit.
Yeah, and that beating up, we tend to be much harsher on ourselves than we would with a family member or with a friend. So if you've hit the end of the holidays and you're getting ready for the new year and you're realizing that you spent more than you planned, first just acknowledge that this happens to most people. Most of us end up maybe overspending or not adhering to the goals the way that we wanted to. And it doesn't mean you're a bad person or that you don't have good, strong willpower. It just means that you're human and you probably got caught up in the excitement of seeing friends, seeing family, buying gifts. Now, what you can do is to be kind to yourself and acknowledge why you might have made that mistake and give yourself permission to head into the holiday season next time or the gift giving season next time with some new structures in place so that it doesn't happen again.
Yep, fresh start there in 2025. Lindsay, great tips this afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks, Amanda.
Yep, take care.